going on, Jerome's? So every year there's always a handful of players, whether undrafted or lowly drafted, that make a push to make the 53-man rooster or practice squad. And this season has been exactly that, right? There's a fistful of great stories of unwanted, undrafted, the unwashed masses. A lot of uns. Yeah. But players that weren't highly regarded, but definitely climbing up, made a huge impression, whether in practice, whether in preseason, whether a combination of both. So here are 11. Onse. Fringe roster players pushing to make the 53. So, guys like Walter Rouse, guys like Gabriel Murphy, who likely are going to make it. Well, Murph's going to make it. Yeah. Don't apply. So this really more about players that, like we said, either undrafted or lowly drafted, didn't expect much, but are definitely making a statement. First up, number 1, Justin Draft. Oh, no, maybe not. Anyways, I started at the bottom. Number 11, Logan Brown. So Logan Brown came with a little bit of hype. The pride of Kansas, formerly of Wisconsin, punched a teammate, allegedly. I kind of like it. Punching Badgers. Let's go. Also, if we ever started a Gophers podcast, we never would. But someone should start a Gophers podcast called Punching Badgers. Anyways, Logan Brown, 42 snaps over 2 preseason games on offense, left tackle, right tackle, both spots, 77.8 PFF pass blocking grade. And overall, it's has looked good in practice as well. Worked some second team left tackle as well as right tackle. And I feel like at a certain point, it might be a numbers game, right? Because our list here is balancing if a player can get through waivers, if not, certainly a practice squad candidate, but at a certain point too, will the Vikings have to choose between Joe Huber and Logan Brown? I mean, it's possible. It's certainly possible, right? So next up, number 10, safety Khalif Halassi. Now, raise hail and praise Dale. So Khalif had the 2 picks against the Texans. That obviously stands out. And you could say, well, there were deflections and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, you have to put yourself in a position to get lucky, right? All right, so Khalif has done that. He's also been getting some solid runs with the second team and even first team defense at times when players were sitting out. Also, he's a 5-phase special teamer, so that certainly has some value. And I don't know, like Khalif, maybe more practice squad. I feel pretty confident they can get him through waivers at this point, but don't know. Maybe he'll have 7 interceptions against Tennessee on Friday. Next up, number 9, wide receiver Deshaun Jones. So, this spot would have gone to Lucky Jackson before, but Lucky has literally dropped the ball on this spot. But Deshaun Jones, I feel like he's been pretty consistent all through camp. Even showed some flashes last year where he was a highly sought after UDFA out of Maryland because he had Terp, right? The Vikings gave him, was it $210K guaranteed? Yeah, something like that. But obviously, he's done some good things, mainly with Max Brosmer, by the way. But 5 catches, 59 yards, and 9 targets over 2 games, shown up and showed out in practice as well. So I feel like Jones, it's really, I don't know what the Vikings are going to do on the 53 because Jefferson is a lock. Naylor is injured. Addison suspended, doesn't count against the 53. Rondale's injured too. So I don't know. Could be a mixed bag of wide receivers on the 53, at least to start. Number 8, quarterback Nudie McLaughlin. So Nudie, of course, famous for the three interceptions and 3 practices. But Nudie overall, he's not a player that's going to wow you physically, but fundamentally, he's absolutely solid. Plus, it has improved on his tackling. That was the knock against him coming in through the draft process as well. And I feel like the third line of Nudie, Blackman, and Zamiah Vaughn have fared pretty damn good in terms of playing cornerback because you got Rogers Akuda. Ooh, Barracuda. Jeff Akuda has definitely risen up, and he cemented himself as a starter. He's looking really good. Also, Byron Murphy Jr. So overall, the Vikings cornerback room, I kind of like it. Kind of like what's going on in that regard. Number 7, speaking of cornerbacks, Zamiah Vaughn. So his length is stunning. It really is. Phrasing. But he's 6'2", $187, long arms, tough, physical, 51 quarterback rating when thrown at, which is good. Also, he's got length, solid tackling as well. I feel like he's a player that is going to make his mark playing special teams first, but then eventually rising on up, and he's just that tough, physical man corner that Flores doesn't really have on the roster right now, and Vaughn certainly brings that to the table. Next up, number 6, Xavier Scott. That's right, Scott's Tots. And we said all off season, well, they liked him last year because they kept him on the practice squad, they kept him in the sphere, etc. And I feel like we've always wanted Ty Chandler to work out. I just don't think it is. And Xavier Scott, I think, is a more well-rounded running back, even though he's not a typical running back. Like, he runs like a rugby player. We said this a bunch. I can't explain it. Won't expand upon it, but it's true. But 17 carries for 68 yards, 4 yards a carry. And it's not so much to the average, but just the style of running. He's a larger running back. He's got power. He's got some short area quickness as well. 4 catches, 55 yards, most of them on screens. Looking really damn good in that regard. Plus a solid special teamer, solid in pass blocking as well. I think Xavier Scott definitely deserves to be on the 53 as a running back 3. Next up, number 5, special teamer, wide receiver, Miles Price. Prior to Indiana / Texas Tech, of course, had that big return against the Patriots, 81 yards on the kick return. Also had a couple of nice punt returns as well. And those jobs are wide open right now. And as we said, the wide receiver room, I mean, especially if Naylor starts out on short-term IR, I mean, it could be wild on the back end, because the only person I could say besides Jefferson, Ass, and Naylor that's going to make it is Felton. And that's by dint of him being solid as well as him being a third-round pick. So it could be Deshaun Jones, Miles Price keeping 6. I don't know. But I feel like Miles Price certainly could secure, I feel like kick return, it'll be Felton and Price, and then Price will be the punt returner. Yeah, that's my guesstimation as of right now. Next up, number 4, center Michael Juergens. Now, you can say that Juergens sort of like Rouse were probably, coming into training camp, but Juergens really solidified himself as a center. And I feel like could be center of the future. Possibly, because Ryan Kelly had that dinged up elbow, of course, gets plenty of Veterans Day. So Juergens has had a ton of snaps, especially since Zeke Corral left with an injury. But Juergens, like, he's, baby make it smooth like lotion. He's been out there, been doing well. Only 2 pressures allowed through 2 preseason games. 72.2 PFF grade. Just solid, good reps. And he's even had a ton of reps with the ones. So I don't know, like this could work out potentially long term. So I think Juergens definitely solidified himself on the 53. Maybe center of the future. It's possible. Next up, number 3, speaking of which, offensive guard Joe Huber. So you want to keep Huber in the mix, right? And again, these rankings are, whether it's a balance between if you can get the player through waivers onto the practice squad or not, as well as potential future with the team. So, yeah. But jumping Joe Huber, Cincinnati. We're not claiming the Badgers. 82.8 PFF grade over 2 games. Number 1 in run blocking amongst rookies. And eyeball test-wise, especially since a lot of the reps have been with Juergens, he's played a mix of left guard and right guard. Just eyeball test-wise, Huber and Juergens look like NFL offensive linemen, right? And I understand that's reductive and simplistic, but that's what it comes down to. Like, that guy can play. I forget who it was. Might have been Spielman. You talk about a story where you can't really tell if a player can play until you see them live in person in practice, and then you can kind of tell right away. These 2 dudes can play, right? It's actually upsetting that Huber didn't get drafted, because I think some draft analysts had him pegged as a 4th or 5th round pick, but definitely keep Huber in the mix going forward. Number 2, Max Brosmer. So, beyond the the black and white stats of the 2 preseason games, 20 of 35, 203, a touchdown, a pick on that last second throw, 69.1 PFF grade, nice. But also that game-winning throw or the game-tying throw to Miles Price, it was right there. And he's more than just a feel-good local kid done good story. Like, this is not Tanner Morgan, this is not Mitch Leidner, who literally is from the Twin Cities, but Brosmer, he literally can play. He is literally an NFL quarterback. Like, this is not a fly-by-night training camp arm story where Friday is going to be his last game. Like, Brosmer's going to have a career, whether it's here or somewhere else. I'll put it on the table. Max Brosmer will be in the league for 10-plus years. I think that he has the makings of a solid backup quarterback. I don't know if he'll be a starter. Probably not. Never know. But in terms of staying power, high football IQ, constantly curious, can operate the offense, gets rid of the ball quick, can get in and out of the huddle quickly as well, gets lined up, quick accurate throws. Like, all that like has staying power. All that is in demand. All that, not every single team in the league has that, right? And I feel like it's beyond the point where it's a fun story. I don't think that there's any chance that the Vikings could get him onto the practice squad if they subjected him to waivers. I think he'll get snapped up like that, especially teams that run a similar offense. I think that the Niners would grab him in 2 seconds. I think that the Rams would grab him in 5 seconds, especially since Stafford's dinged up. I'm not buying that, by the way. But bro has definitely been being a dude. Lastly, number 1, Elijah Williams. Elijah Williams needs to be on the 53. Right, and I know that there's a number crunch along the defensive line, but also I do not care at this point. Elijah Williams, it's something that we haven't had. Just pure energy, pure heart, pure hustle, makes plays in pursuit from the backside, and he plays his position well, has strength at the point of attack, and just understands the game. Right, that's what comes down to. Like Elijah Williams, coming in from Morgan State. He's a very polished player, right? And is he going to be a starter anytime soon? No. But could he be a platoon pass rusher who works his way up, and then maybe if things break right for him, a couple years down the line when Allen and Hargrave retire and move on, Phillips too, is he in the starting lineup? It's very possible. It's very possible. He's just a dude, man. It's just so fun watching 99 play out there. 7 pressures, leading all NFL defensive interiors through 2 weeks, 81 PFF pass rushing grade, and beyond that, beyond the stats and analytics, can this guy play? Yes, 99 can play, right? And he's a problem. He's a problem. So that's it. That's at 11. Actually, hold on. No, screwed. 11 fringe players making a push to be on the 53-man rooster for the Minnesota Fighting Vikings. Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best to do. Skol, production value.